Welcome back. We're at Fight Fit Malaysia in Sunny Hill again, talking to Mr. Chad Hanekom. Chad, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So for those that don't know, just give us a bit of background of your journey into MMA. Obviously from school, you played a bit of rugby, that evolved into MMA.
Yeah, I was playing a lot of rugby. I played rugby from 9 years old. I played Lions junior rugby from the age of about 13 all the way up till under 21. I was playing Lions Sevens, playing Varsity Cup for UJ Sevens, and then in 2011 I met Richard Kwan and Fight Fit Malaysia. I was training for rugby at that stage, and after a few months I fell in love with MMA, and that's where the journey began.
And why the switch? Why not continue the rugby career?
I just lost interest in rugby, and the interest in MMA was way more than what I had in rugby at that stage, and I needed a challenge for myself, and I believe I have the attributes to be a better MMA fighter than I did a rugby player at that stage. And yeah, I was just interested in challenging myself on a daily basis, where I felt rugby wasn't doing that for me anymore.
Tell us a bit about your school career. Obviously you were at Cares, played
Parktown.
At Parktown, sorry, and we've seen you walk out with your school blazer as well at one of your fights.
Yeah, so I was at Parktown Boys my whole high school career, and I loved it there. It's something that I hold very dear to my heart, and I'm still in touch with a lot of my Parktown roots, and I think I wouldn't be the man that I am today if it wasn't for me being in Parktown. So I like to bring my roots with me wherever I go. So since my very first fight, I've been walking out with my school blazer, and it's something I'm very proud of, and I think it's a cool persona that I've taken on. So yeah, it's just stuck, I guess.
And then just give us a bit of background on your amateur MMA career.
So as an amateur, I went 10-0. So undefeated, it was from the beginning of 2013 till mid-2014. I fought current guys that are in EFC and prospects that were supposed to be in EFC. It was a good amateur career. I fought on Fight Stars. That was probably my favorite promotion to have fought on back then. It was the biggest platform that we had been given, and I was really happy to fight on Fight Stars, as I believe I fought the best amateur guys in South Africa back then, and some of the guys have moved through the ranks to higher honors like EFC, and likewise myself, I've moved on to higher honors, and I don't think that would have been possible without the likes of a promotion like Fight Stars giving us the opportunity.
And then the move from amateur to pro, what was that step up like as a starting point?
So I actually signed a pro contract with the EFC in July of 2014, and I'd just been selected to represent South Africa in the Sambo Commonwealth Games. And unfortunately, it was a week before the London Commonwealth Games, and I had a knee injury, and that put me out for a while, and it kind of took a year before that injury healed, and then I had my first professional fight in EFC in December of 2015. And I had been training with a lot of the pros, and back then current champs in the EFC, Norman Vessels, Gareth McClellan, Boyd Allen, DeMart Penner. So my journey as a fighter at FFM has been an easy transition to professional, as even my amateur fights were treated as professional fights. I've been cutting weight since the beginning. I've been prepping camps properly from the beginning. So it wasn't really much of a change in preparation. It was just maybe more of a change in environment. Getting under the big lights, and I think that's something everyone has to face and overcome, and I believe I've done it well, and it's something that I'll just keep growing on.
Talking about weight cuts, you've also shifted weight division. So you started out as a light heavy, now moved to middleweight. Tell us what that's been like.
I think my plan from amateur days was always to move to middleweight. It just so happened that I was comfortable in the light heavyweight division, and my teammate back then, who's now coaching Norman Vessels, was the current EFC light heavyweight champ back then, and so it was just kind of a thing of where him and I were training together, and it just happened so that I moved into the light heavyweight division. Had my first 3 fights there, and after having trained overseas and had a few trips. I just felt that my best shot at making this far would be in the middleweight division. I think I'm a massive middleweight compared to most guys that I've seen and trained with, whether it be here in South Africa or overseas. So there's massive advantages for me fighting at middleweight. I'd never rule out a good fight at light heavyweight. But yeah, the middleweight is definitely going to be the division that's my new home. I'm looking to become a champion in the middleweight division, a world champion. So that's where I'll definitely be fighting and spending my time at. The weight cut is something no fighter really likes. It's something that's tough for all of us, but it's part of our job, and I do it as professionally as I can. And yeah, that's it, man.
And then obviously the big news now is that you've signed for Brave MMA.
Yeah, so Brave has been a promotion that myself and my coach Richard Kwan have been targeting for quite a while. We've really had a vested interest in the growth. I really believe that Brave is definitely one of the top 5 promotions currently in the world, and I think their potential for growth over the next 2 or 3 years is exponential. So I really wanted to get in at a good time and make sure that I make waves so that I'm right at the top of the division when they strike it even bigger than what they have struck. And I'm really excited about my contract, and I can't wait to put on a show for the Brave fans.
Well, I mean, I was there in November at the Brave event at the World Champs, and I can say, for those that don't know, it is a cracking event to be at and a good promotion as well. Give us a bit of details on that contract as well, number of fights, period, that kind of thing.
Well, it's a 3-fight contract, obviously with potential for extension. So I'm sure after they see what I can do after one fight, there'll be no problems with any extensions when my contract comes to an end. But it's a 3-fight contract for now, and I'm looking to serve that contract out to the best of my ability. So yeah, I'm just going to put on a good show for the fans, as I have in every other promotion that I've fought in. Make sure that I come deliver on the night and put on impressive performances.
And then your first fight on that promotion is now in Jordan. They're going taking MMA to Jordan on the 2nd of March. Tell us a bit about what you know about the event itself and your opponent.
Well, I've seen the event. Obviously, I watched a few of the events already, and I've seen some replays. They've got really good broadcasting, and they've got a really good reach for the event. So, I mean, it's easy for anyone to find, really. So I'm really impressed by the show. I'm really impressed by the level of fighting and the caliber of fighters. It's a really good production that they put on. Like you say, it's a really exciting show for the fans to come out. So it's cool that we're going to Jordan. The Kingdom Rises, Brave 10 will be in Jordan. So it's a really exciting place. I mean, it's the first time that they're going to have their event there, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful venue. I'm sure that it's going to be another great event held by Brave. With regards to my opponent, I know a little bit about him, but I mean, these days in MMA, your opponent can change at the last minute, or everyone really is capable of anything in the cage. So I'm not specifically preparing for one thing, because I believe that most of the fighters these days are well-rounded enough to take a fight anywhere. So I'm training as I would for any other fight. I mean, I'm ready for the fight to go wherever it will.
And for those that want to follow your journey up to the fight and at the fight, can you give us your social media handles and where guys can get hold of you?
Yeah, guys, please follow me on Chad_Superman on Instagram. For Twitter, I'm Chad_Hanekom, and Chad Hanekom fan page on Facebook. So please follow me on my social media platforms and follow the journey, and let's keep building the momentum.
Well, there you have it, guys. Chad will be competing on the 2nd of March. Stay tuned to Undisputed MMA. We'll give you the results and possibly grab Chad when he gets back.